Hi, I'm Seema Josen and I'm teaching you all how to paint these beautiful roses with flat brushes beyond the C curve. We are going to just lay out our paints, whichever color roses you want. The darkest shades will go inside, and then we will just spread out the paint in such a way as big as your wrist. Yours a rose should never be bigger than your wrist. Then I will be using gouache white as well. I will keep my colors a little away. These are the brushes I'm using. Flats, angle. This is the plate I'm going to mix it in. Let me see what colors I want. I will take some white first because predominantly I want to highlight this. Predominantly my rose is almost ready, but I need to highlight. I'll just take a little of this and I will stand and do this. Okay, I've got my color. The base colors are already there. So what I want to do is just take white at the tip of my brush. This is how it goes. Okay, first I will just highlight in the first one. Just this is the shadow below. So if this is, then I have to just come down with a little. I'd love to use my wet finger as well. Sometimes I do that. This is the effect of a petal. Then one here. This is my second petal. Then third. So I've highlighted it. So this is how I've highlighted each petal, and the shadows were already there. They were dark. The shadow is always darker, and the center is also very dark. And now I have the inner circle complete. My petals are complete. Just add a few more highlights, and I won't overdo my rose. And that's it. My rose will be ready. Just a few more petals. I had already put in my dark shadows, and now I'm highlighting the tips of my petals, just the tips. If you could get real roses, I'm looking at a real rose and doing this. So if you could get a real rose, you'll get the right perspective of where the shadows should be. Just putting in a little more shadow area. That is the difficult part, putting in the shadow. It is always easier to highlight it. Your shadow should, it's like a cup and a saucer. Center will be dark, and the saucer again, that's the line which will be dark. So that's how your uh, it's a play of shadows and highlights which define the rose. So this is my rose, almost done. A few more highlights. Defining it. And that's how that rose, my shadows were already done. In this rose, I am putting in the shadows. My highlights are already done, and I'm dropping in the shadows. In the previous rows, please watch that again. You will see that I'd already done my shadows. I just highlighted the petals. Here, this is the opposite way. Put in the highlights, and then I'm putting in my shadows. And I have completed this rose as well, just by putting in my shadows. Wherever you feel the need to put in more shadows, do that. Always keep a reference of a real rose or a painting of a rose, so you know exactly where the shadows are and where the highlights are. This is done. Now this is my third way. I have painted in the size of my wrist, I have painted three shades. I've dropped in 3 shades, and I'm dropping in shadow areas. After they dry, the base coat dries, then I'm putting in the shadows and the highlights together. And that's how I'm going to complete this third way. So I have taken you all through 3 ways of doing roses with flat brushes and angle brushes. Then drop in your leaves in the same way with your angle brush. They're a little jagged, the leaves of rose. I hope you'll enjoy this.